Hello and welcome to the video. This is my first video, so I am going to introduce myself. I am Cripe. You can call me Cripe. So, in this video, I am going to be talking about the sets for combat in Hypixel skyblock. Firstly, you have to go to the Rosette NPC, click on R. It's a new update. When a new update came out, she brought new armors for beginners. So, like the mercenary armor. These are really good early game armors, but there are way better. Like the first one, iron armor, not so much to talk about. Rosetta's armor, Rosetta's boots, basically a diamond armor with growth. That's all. Square armor. It even has a weapon. Not bad for 5,000 coins, but could be better. The mercenary armor. This is really good, but it has a high price, so watch out for that. And you may ask, these two sets, what about them? These are trash. These are basically mage sets, but yeah, they only give a little bit of health, but intelligence, but it's really useless. Really, it is. So, these are going to be your first sets. And then, you're going to be wandering in the dragon armor family. What I'm wearing right now is the young dragon armor with farmer boots. And I'm holding the aspect of the end. But I am only going to be talking about armors now, so yeah. So, you need to unlock the bazaar. It's the fastest way to get dragon fragments. So, when you unlocked him, I believe you need forging 7, mining 7 and combat 7. So, you know how you will get the combat 7. You need to go to the oddities section, then to the dragon fragments. There are lots of kinds of dragon fragments, specifically 8, but only a few are good. The old dragon fragment, if you're really struggling to survive. The unstable fragment, really good early damage set. And this is what we are going to be talking about. You will need 240 fragments, and you can get the full set if you do. It costs 630,000 coins. It's not really cheap, but believe me, it's worth it. This is going to give you not a lot of strength, not a lot of crit damage, but it is going to give you a really big amount of crit damage. Sorry, crit chance. Because this armor is completely based about crit damage and strength and crit chance. That's really important in the early game, because you are going to have none, because you need combat level for those, and yeah, it's hard to get. Its downside, however, it needs combat 16, I believe, and the next armor we're going to talking about is still a dragon armor, and it's way more expensive. Strong dragon armor. Yeah, this beast, it's really focused about strength and EHP, but it's not focused about crit damage and crit chance. When the damage update didn't came out, this was way better than the unstable. It still is, but if you don't have enough crit chance, you should still using you should still be using the unstable. So this costs a total of 7.4 million coins. I suggest not to buy this, but it's your call. And there are some outside dungeon sets that I don't want to be talking about because they're really expensive, and personally I don't really like them. And if you're like Cadet or Combat 20, you should start doing catacombs, like the entrance. I'm going to talk about those armor sets too in a minute. But if you really want to get a set for like, don't know, 100 mil coins, then this is for you. There are one other dragon fragment that you can use to craft a set. It is the superior. This costs more than a full Shadow Assassin set. 40 million coins. It's way too much for an early game player. And there's a way more expensive set. The Frozen Blaze armor. Yeah, this armor. But you should only use this if you have completed the floor 7, because it is hella expensive, like just like a Necron set. But gripe, this is not expensive as a Necron set. What are you talking about? Yeah, so basically this set is pretty much useless on its own, but if you compare it with the legendary Blaze Path, it outdamages Necron with the Blaze Path. But if you use a Baby Yeti on Necron set, you will gain more effective AHP than you would gain with Frozen Blaze and Blaze Path. So if you're not struggling to survive, I recommend this set. Of course, compared with a golden head of what, golden or diamond head of what are you playing for. So let's talk about dungeons. First, you need to get Kata 15 to get into any dungeon. The first floor you're going to be playing is entrance. Now I recommend using unstable or strong armor if you're going to be a berserker or an archer. I am only going to be talking about damage sets, and those mostly affect berserkers and archers, so I'm going to mainly focus about them, like not mages, tanks, or anything else. Okay, we have beaten floor entrance. Yay. It's not over. There's still more floors to do. Approximately 7. So, the first floor, we're still going to be using our unstable / strong armor. But in the floor 2, we can unlock the zombie soldier. The zombie soldier armor grants really big amount of health and defense compared, if you reforge it of course, to fierce or ancient, but I don't recommend ancient because it's really not that cheap. If you reforge it, sorry, can't speak. If you reforge it to fierce, you're going to gain really big amount of health, defense, and crit damage, and strength, and crit chance. And those are really important for a berserker or an archer. Okay, we've beaten floor 2. Now, floor 3. If you have beaten floor 3 once, you're going to be unlocking the adaptive armor. That's really good for a berserker, but not really much for an archer. But it's the best armor you can get. In floor 4 nothing really changes, but you can replace the adaptive boots with spirit boots. It's way better. And it has an ability too, where it costs mana but you can fly for a limited amount of time. I think 4 or 5 seconds. You could cheese trap room with it, but nah, the admins patched it, sadly, but it's okay. Now for the interesting part. Floor 5. You are going to gain full Shadow Assassin armor. You can use that if you're going to beat this floor, but I don't recommend using full, because it's way better to use 3/4 Shadow Assassin. What do I mean by that? Yeah, the chest plate you see costs around 25 million coins, but that's hella expensive, so we're going to substitute it with a zombie knight chest plate. So it's way better, believe me. But if you really are trying to get like overkill, then you have the money, of course you can do it. I'm not telling you it's bad, it's really good, but it really is overpriced. And it only costs 5 million coins to open it from a dungeon chest, and you can only open it from a normal S+ run from the obsidian chest, I believe. No, the bedrock and the obsidian chest both cost 5 million coins, but you can get lucky with that and open one, or just buy one from the auction house, but I don't recommend using it. And you can replace the Shadow Assassin helmet with the new and fresh Tarantula helmet. We're going to reuse that later, so remember it. It's pretty good, but the Shadow Assassin helmet can fit in correctly, so both are good. Now for floor 6. Really, nothing changes. Let's skip the floor 7. So, floor 7, we will be unlocking the best damage set so far. The Necron armor. The Necron armor. The armor that everybody talks about and loves. It's one of the Wither family's armors, so it must be good, right? Yes, it is the best for damage, but it lacks a bit of HP and speed. The Maxor, on the other hand, does not lack of speed. If you hit like get a 25, I believe, you can get an extra 100 speed or 90 speed inside of dungeons with one Maxor piece. So if you're going to wear 3/4 Maxor, you can basically get 400 speed for the little price of half of your damage. So that's why people don't use it. Except of course the mages, but we're not talking about them on the next video, probably. But the archers and berserkers use the Necron armor, but not the full, like in the Shadow Assassin armor. You're going to substitute, not the chestplate this time, the helmet. Of course, with the Tarantula helmet. It's way better, way cheaper. Good. Now, if you are going to use that, you must be aware it has a little bit lack of HP, and the Necron armor, the Necron helmet especially, does not lack of that. So if you really are struggling, if you have a little bit extra coins, you can sell your tarantula helmet and buy a necro helmet. Easy as that. But you will need a floor 7 completion first, so it's not that quick. But that away, this is the best set you can get inside of dungeons. But outside of dungeons, there's a one helmet that is so overpowered. The Warden helmet. Okay, but it almost does not have any stats. What are you talking about? The ability. It halves your speed, and for every 25 speed, you are going to gain 20% more melee weapon damage. It's insane. Like, if you have 400 speed, you are going to gain... What the fuck? 160% more melee damage. That is crazy. And compare it with a giant sword, and you're dominating. With a 1 for a giant sword, you will be unstoppable. But the weapons are going to be in a later video, so stay tuned for that. And basically, this was the guide. Also, a bonus tip. If you have the spare money, from floor 5 to floor 7, you can use a golden head, a golden livid head, a golden Sedan head, and a golden necro head. And if you really are rich, you can use the diamond heads. Now for the reforges, I personally like fears on them. If not with reforge stone, that's the best. But if you really lack of crit damage but you have decent damage, then pure is good too, but it does not give almost any damage stats. Only a little bit more crit damage, crit chance, but that's all. And if you're counting reforge stones too, then the precursor gear is the best reforge stone. It gives the ancient reforge, so yeah, that's the best. It gives you a little bit of everything, but mostly strength and crit damage, and it has a special ability too. For every each of your catacombs levels, you will gain 1 extra crit damage. If you're cata 50, you gain 50 crit damage extra. If you're not in even catacombs, you will get 0 crit damage. But if you're catacombs 1, you will get 1. Simple as that. And it gives a lot of crit chance. So if you can afford it, I recommend it, but to apply it, it requires mining 30. And that's gonna take a while for you. Just saying, just saying. Okay, now, in the next video, I'm going to be talking about the weapons. So, if you want to see that, please drop a like and subscribe. It helps me out. Thank you. Bye. Hello again. It's me from the future. Yep, I messed something up. I totally forgot to talk about pets because it's more like an addition to armor than weapons, so, and I cannot create a new video for that because it would be too short, like 1-2 minutes, so I'm just going to cut it here. So the pets you must use are combat pets, of course, but these are, how can I say it, as important as the armor or the weapon. So these three can't live without each other. Like, you will going to need a good weapon, a good armor, and a good pet. So our first pet will be the Wither Skeleton. Of course, if you can afford the legendary one, it's good, but the epic one's not bad either. But the legendary one's latest perk, the Death's Touch. Upon hitting an enemy, inflicting the wither effect for 2 to 200% damage over 3 seconds. The amount that how many percent damage over 3 seconds, it means that it scales with the past level, and it means that your melee damage, your melee weapons damage is 200% what the skeleton is going to deal. Not your entire damage, your weapons damage. So you may see that, oh, but I damage 100k crit, but the wither effect only damages like 1/3 of my damage, 2/3 of my damage based on your pet level. So yeah, it's not the best pet, but it's okay. Next we're going to be talking about a cheaper option. Oh. Anyways, the Griffin pet. Why did it... Okay, never mind. So, this is a good outside of dungeons pet because it has really good stats, but I only recommend buying an uncommon one, yeah, or a legendary one. These two are worth it, but the others, nah. Just buy an uncommon if you're poor, buy a legendary if you're rich, and you can even use it for the mayor Diana, but that's a whole nother thing. We're only using its damage. See, it's good outside of dungeons because it gains you permanent regeneration 5 and strength 7. But it's not really useful on the other hand in dungeons because, yeah. And the last pet, no, the before last pet we're going to be talking about is, you can guess, the Baby Yeti. I do not recommend buying the legendary one because it only gives another ability that buffs the Yeti sword, but we're not going to use that anyways. So the Baby Yeti itself gives 40 strength, that's not bad, but 75 intelligence, but we're not going to use that. But its ability, the second one, Ice Shield, gain 1 to 100% of your strength as defense. If it's maxed out, your strength will be added as defense too. And in dungeons you gain blessings with strength, and those count too. So you're going to be unkillable almost every time. But cripe, there are no better pets than the Baby Yeti. There are. Of course, I'm going to be talking about the Ender Dragon. The Ender Dragon gives really good stats, but it's, yeah, the price. The epic one is not good at all. The superior, the best, the legendary, has another perk that's superior, increases all stats by 0.1% to 10%. But you may think that it's not too much, but it also increases every single stat. Like, not just strength or, I don't know, health. It even increases magic find, crit chance. It is really good. Like, it's better if you have higher skills, like There are better pets for damage, of course, but if you're maxed out, like foraging 50, combat 50, you better use this. There's an extra pet, but only for certain armor. The previous part where I talked about the armors, I mentioned one, the Frozen Blaze armor. Yeah, that requires the Blaze pet. And of course the legendary one, because the other ones are not good. It's like a 90 mil for 100, level 100 Blaze pet, so yeah, not that good. The first perk is not good. The second upgrades Blaze armor stats and ability by 40%. This means the original Blaze armor and the Frozen Blaze. Fusion style potato doubles the effects of hot potato books. That is overpowered. Like if you have fuming potato books on your sword, it grants of course 30 strength, 30 damage. But if this pet is on, it will grant 60-60. Yeah, but it really only matches with the Blaze armor. It's not that good on Necron. You should use a baby Yeti then, or an Ender Dragon if you really want that damage. But yeah, this is all. Sorry to waste your time, but I gotta fit this in. Gotta fit this in. I mean, sorry, can't talk English, can't speak English. Yeah, but okay, it's okay. I'll learn. Thank you for watching. Please, if you like this and wanna see the other videos too from me, please drop a like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.